Shoot, they don't want you. Jesus do. Blank point period. We all have experienced rejection in some way, shape, or form. For example, maybe you didn't get picked by a team, or maybe you didn't get the job that you really wanted. Maybe you were fired from your job. Maybe the guy or girl that you're interested in isn't interested in you. Maybe you feel like a friend group that you're in isn't accepting of you, or maybe you feel rejected from your own family. Whatever the case may be, rejection sucks. It is not a good feeling. Blank point period. When you experience rejection, you may feel hurt, lonely, jealous, guilt, shame, social anxiety, embarrassment, sadness, and even anger. Rejection can literally change your personality and how you carry yourself on a day-to-day basis. Like, for example, I'm a naturally bubbly, energetic person. Like, I was always that happy, hype friend. I literally used to have people in like middle school and high school ask me like why I'm always so happy. I was just that person. Now, when I experienced rejection, my personality literally changed. I became more closed off. I became a little antisocial. I didn't want no new friends. I went from being that super happy friend to like just being quiet, being very observant of my atmosphere, especially if I'm at a new place. Like, I went from being social, wanting to get to know people, to like being quiet and minding my business. I didn't want any friends, and I was like not open to having open conversations. I wasn't trying to let anybody in. You can ask one of my best friends now. Literally, she came into my life, or tried to come into my life during that season where I was still going through rejection, and I pretty much closed off my heart. And sis literally was left undelivered for like months. It took months before we actually had a real conversation. Now sis is in my phone every day, period. Overall, I just became angrier and bitter because of the rejection. I didn't even notice until I was really healed from that, you know? So in this video, I'm gonna walk y'all through how I healed from rejection. Disclaimer, this is a journey and it's gonna be different for everybody. Rejection is still something that I can struggle with sometimes if I'm not cautious. So I have to be very cautious, and I have to be very in tune with like my emotions and everything, and I'll talk more about that later. When it comes to rejection, you really have to be self-aware, because yeah, one situation can happen, you can heal from that, but then another situation can happen and then rejection can enter again. So like with this video, definitely implement these steps, and you might have to implement these steps multiple times for multiple different occasions, because as I stated at the beginning of the video, there's multiple ways that rejection can become a thing. Number one, it's good to acknowledge your emotions. When a situation arises where you feel rejected in some way, shape, or form, you need to take some time for yourself and really evaluate what happened for real. You need to understand why you feel rejected, and you need to understand what emotions are manifesting because of that situation that went down. And I say this because a lot of people, when something happens, we might try to brush it off and be like, you know, it wasn't even that big of a deal, it is what it is, like, I'm not mad. Some people really just try to sweep their emotions under the rug and just keep it pushing, but yet that person comes around and you are unintentionally or unknowingly acting different towards that person because you have some type of built up animosity towards them that you haven't even addressed or dealt with within yourself. Yeah, you just become avoidant and you just try to brush it under the rug, but you never really deal with it, and it's just lingering there. And you might not even notice that you're treating that person differently, but that person will definitely notice. And a way to do that, bruh, write it down. You know, journaling helps. If you have a therapist that you go to, tell your therapist about your feelings. Talk about why you feel the way you feel. If you don't got a therapist, go to a very trusted friend, trusted family member, someone you can confide in and that will literally give you wise counsel, whether it's a pastor. You might not even be able to really realize what you're feeling until you talk about it with somebody, you know, and it don't even gotta be in a gossiping way. Go to someone that you trust and that can give you wise counsel and be like, yo, like, am I tripping? Address why you feel the way you feel within yourself. Number two, realize people are flawed. Every single person on this earth is flawed, no matter the amount of money they make, no matter how famous they may be, no matter how much you may look up to them or not. People are flawed. Because people are flawed, it's a high chance that people can and will hurt you intentionally or unintentionally. Don't put people on a pedestal, no matter their status or whatever the case may be. This goes for pastors, this goes for friends, this goes for family, this goes for whatever. Like, you gotta think, there are times that we have probably hurt people unintentionally and we might not even know about it because they've been holding it against you or been holding a grudge this whole time and they never communicated it. Whether it was something you said, whether it was something you did, whether you made a joke and they didn't really like the joke, like, who knows? People are all sensitive about different things. You just don't know what people's triggers are. You don't know what can hurt them or will hurt their feelings. Like, you know, you might be able to joke around with one friend a certain way, but with a different friend, you can't joke with them that way because they might take it to heart. Whether that's your intention or not, everybody got feelings and everybody's different. Number 3, communicate. Now, for some situations, communication really might not be necessary because it really could just be a you thing. It really could just be something that you're internalizing. Like, that person might have literally not done anything for you, which is why step 1 is important, to really evaluate why you're feeling the feelings that you're feeling. For example, say we're in the gym and we're playing kickball and everybody's picking their teams or whatever, and you don't get picked for the team you want to be on. You might feel rejected, you might feel some type of way about that, but that's really not that other person's fault. They technically didn't do nothing to you, they just didn't pick you to be on their team. That's not really a reason to really hold offense or a grudge towards somebody, for real, for real. That's just something that is within yourself that you didn't like, you know? Maybe at your job, you thought you were gonna be promoted, but you weren't picked for promotions that month and you were expecting it. You might be upset at your boss and hold a grudge against your boss. And who knows, you don't even know, maybe your boss was advocating for you, but you know, the higher ups chose otherwise. That ain't got nothing to do with your boss. That's just, you know, corporate America. Now, if somebody has offended you, they said something to you that you didn't like, they did something to you that you did not like, this is a good opportunity for communication. Let them know why they've offended you. Let them know why you feel hurt or whatever you're feeling, and just be honest. Just have a conversation. You know, for example, you can be like, you know, the other day you joked about a very sensitive topic that I haven't healed from yet, and I really didn't like that, and moving forward I would really appreciate that you don't joke with me like that anymore. They might be like, yo, I'm so sorry, like I didn't even realize that it'd be that big of a deal. I didn't even realize that this was so deep to you. Like, you never know you don't know what's going on the other side, so it's really good to communicate. Now, if you communicate and they ain't trying to listen, they're not, you know, apologetic, they're not receiving it in the way that you want to receive, then I think that shows more about the other person. You communicated, and now that you've communicated, you can let them know your choice of action. So now that you communicated, whatever their response was to the communication, doesn't matter. Now you also have to let them know what your choice of action is going to be. So if someone did something to hurt you, and you've decided after thinking that your choice of action is to walk away completely from that relationship, let them know that. If your choice of action is going to be just to distance yourself for a little bit, let them know that. You know, if somebody really did you dirty and if they've continuously have hurt you multiple times, even with like communication in the past, say you continuously told somebody that you don't like when they do something over and over and over and they continue to do it anyway, at that point, just walk away. They don't respect you enough to, you know, take heed and, you know, listen to your feelings and take your feelings into consideration in the first place, which is why they're continuously hurting you. So at that point, just walk away, sis or bro, because they don't respect you anyways. Number 4, forgive them. Forgiveness is key. Not for them, but for you, because unforgiveness does more damage to yourself than it does the other person. The reason that this is step 4 instead of step 3 is because for some people, even after you communicate, you might still low-key have some unforgiveness lingering. For some situations, depending on what you experience, it might take a little longer for you to fully forgive that person. It could be an everyday process, an everyday decision that you'll have to make to forgive that person. Now, there are some situations where it's like, you know what, you all good, they apologize, y'all hug it out, y'all dap it up, and then y'all just get the show on the road and you never care about it, you never think about it again. It's just completely swept under the rug and you done with it. But there are some situations where it might take you a couple weeks to fully forgive them for it. It might take you a couple months. Every situation is different. There are situations that I've had where, yeah, I was able to instantly forgive a person, but then there were also situations where it took some months, okay? I ain't even gonna cap. It took some months, and there was even times where I would think that I forgave somebody, but then if their name came up or if I saw them or whatever the case may be, I feel the feelings arise. I feel the bitterness, I feel the saltiness. If somebody brings someone up and you ball your face up or you just roll your eyes unintentionally, there's still some bitterness there, and that's fine. It's a process. No matter how long it takes though, it is important for you to forgive. If Jesus forgave us for all of our sins, who are we to not forgive? Because I mean, you could literally live your whole life living in bitterness and holding a grudge towards somebody, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be judged for it. They're not. Number 5, focus on your relationship with God. True peace and healing is only found in Jesus Christ. Blank point period. There are so many things I had to heal from that I really feel like I would not have been able to if it wasn't for my relationship with God. And to be honest, it's really hard to try to heal from rejection, and it's really hard to try to forgive somebody like genuinely without him. The more you get to know God, the more time you spend learning him, the more time you spend building that relationship with him, the more he will help heal you and deliver you from rejection, from unforgiveness. There are so many times where I'd be spending time with God, like, Lord, please remove things from me that are not of you. And then he'll bring people up that I need to forgive from like a couple years ago. And I'm like, Like, I've been there so many times, guys. Christ forgave us, so who are we to hold grudges against others, for real? None of us are perfect. And as I said before, this really isn't gonna be an instant thing all the time. Like, sometimes you really have to continuously choose to forgive the person every day until you fully heal from the rejection. And you'll know when you let go of the unforgiveness and the rejection if you could think about them, see them, talk to them, hear about them, and you literally don't feel any type of way. Now, I just want to make one thing clear. Jesus understands rejection. He was rejected by so many people, and he's still rejected to this day by millions of people all over the world. And I just want to let you know, no matter how many times you feel rejected or how many people reject you, there will always be someone who will always be accepting of you. There's literally someone waiting for you to let him into your life, in every area of your life at that. That's Jesus Christ. Her. Shoot, they don't want you. Jesus do. Blank point period. And the good news is that through the gospel, we have God's eternal love and acceptance. Unconditionally, period. So guys, I really hope this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. Even if this video helps just one person during their process of healing, I'm satisfied, honey. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, baby. And I hope y'all stay tuned for more.